Welcome back to you. This is episode 67 of An Eternal Soul in a Physical World. And in my discussions with my guides lately, these are the kinds of things that my guide is hammering home to me. Okay. So I want to pass this on to you because this might also be relevant to your life. I mean, it's kind of relevant to all of us when we're on a spiritual path, but it might be something you need to hear right now too. So our true treasure is not how much money we have in the bank. It's not that soulmate perfect relationship we think we're going to find or achieve. It's not that status or recognition or successful completion of any project in the outside world. Our true treasure is alignment with who we really are. That's what we're actually always looking for, though we don't really realize it. So we need to get those in the right order. Money isn't the thing I seek. That feeling of having tons of money in the bank isn't actually what I want. What I actually want is alignment with my true self. No amount of money can buy alignment with my true self, and that feeling of being just so connected and one and completely held and peaceful. No amount of money can buy that experience. Yet, when I'm sitting in that alignment, I become magnetic to all the provision I could possibly need because I don't need anything when I'm in that space. And so we've got to get those things in the right order. It's like, this is a little analogy that I'm using. And if you're listening to this in podcast form at the moment, I'm holding up two pieces of cardboard with holes in the middle. So the holes are about the size of a cup rim. And I'm sliding the two pieces of cardboard around on each other. So basically, we're wanting alignment. That's what we really want to feel because, damn, it feels so good. We want to feel how it feels when those two circles on these two pieces of cardboard line up perfectly. That's what we're looking for. But yet we think that we're going to find it out there in the outside world. Oh, maybe I'll get it over here when I go and become CEO of that company. Or maybe when I find that relationship, that special person, I'm finally going to feel all lined up inside, and the cardboard pieces are moving around and moving around, trying to find that alignment. But eventually we start to realize nothing that I'm doing is lining me up. It might make me feel good for a couple of days or a week or even a month if I'm lucky, but I can't sustain it. What's going on? I'm just going to have to tune in with myself, sit in remembrance of who I really am. That feels better. Now I understand. Now I see. Now I get it. Now the ideas are coming to me. Now I'm in alignment. Now I know what to do. I know who I am. I feel safe again. I feel whole again. I feel courageous again. I feel generous again. This is what we're looking for. This alignment when the two circles and these pieces of card line up. And this is the open heart. So, we've been talking about this in the last 4 podcasts, and this is the 5th in the series of the amazing potential of the human heart. When these two pieces of cardboard are lined up like this, and there's this big clear, open channel between the two holes, that is the feeling of gratitude, feeling all lined up in the moment when your heart center is open, you're fully appreciative, grateful, and blissful, feeling one in this present moment. There's nothing I need right now because I'm so grateful for everything just as it is. The way this moment is flowing is perfect. I don't need to change anything. Everything is just as it should be. Right now, I'm in this perfectly perfect moment. Oh my God, I'm so lucky to be here. I am blessed and blissful. You know, that's the feeling of this open heart. And when we can sustain that for longer and longer periods, because what happens is we drift out of alignment, don't we? I mean, come on. None of us are perfect. Otherwise, we would not still be probably in this body. We come into alignment. Oh, that feels good. Right, got to go to work now. Out of alignment. You know, the cardboard is moving around in all sorts of crazy positions. And then we might come home. We might have a little meditation before we have dinner and back into alignment, only to be thrown out again, you know, when someone calls us, our mum calls us, or our dad or our daughter or our son or something. We start to get drawn into whatever they're saying, you know, we come out of alignment again. So I guess as we're becoming masterful, we're achieving self-mastery at this human level, and we're moving away from the third density solar plexus living into the fourth density heart green ray living. What that is this sustaining of this open heart, because as we sustain it, there after a time is a shift where we live it, we now are it, and we can't go back to suffering how we used to. There is a shift happens in our whole energetic system that means that we are different now. We aren't suffering ever again like we used to. And this is the movement into that new species, you know, that I was talking about last time, that we're evolving into right now. It's going to take a while, because the thing is that having your heart open like this is a deeper density of light. That you're activating yourself in a way that you're running a higher vibration through your being. You're bringing a higher voltage, if you like, through your electrical system. And our nervous systems aren't wired and aren't ready for more light than they can handle. So there is a gradual stepping up of our ability to be able to handle the denser and denser levels of light that we are activating and bringing in to our being. But eventually, as we sustain this open-hearted energy for longer and longer periods, eventually our nervous system and everything will be ready, and it will all line up in such a way, and then click, we will tip over into this upgraded being that no longer experiences suffering. And it kind of reminds me of things like when you're standing on some scales, for example. You stand there for a bit, you've got to balance, find your balance, and then beep, your weight is recorded. And it's like this, you know, we're going to find our balance, and holding this, and then beep, it's done, it's set, it's what is, it's the new normal, it's who you are, it's what you know. And the other stuff is like, what the heck, I would never go back to that, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, it all starts with this, all the stuff we've been talking about in the last 4 podcasts, that activating and opening of our heart center. Imagine if enough of us in the world had reached this. imagine it if we en masse had moved to that new level or are moving to that new level. How exciting would that be? How freaking amazing the potential of what could come as a fully activated, heart radiant being surrounded by many others of the same. Oh my God, that's the kind of world I want to live in, that's for sure. So remember I told you a couple of episodes ago that I really wanted to delve into the studies that had been done, anywhere that I could find about how our hearts and how the open heart is affecting our physiology and what it's doing to our auras and our energetic system. And I wanted to find research on this stuff, like actual studies and stuff. And I ended up having to buy a couple of papers from the HeartMath Institute because I just couldn't find anything kind of juicy enough, I guess, real enough that I could sink my teeth into. So I bought these papers that talked about studies that were done to test, the electromagnetic vibrations coming from our hearts and the effects that this was having on our own bodies, but also on other people. And if other people could pick up our heart radiations or the other person's heart radiations. Because in theory, this is what happens, right? And this is what we have been talking about in these podcasts, that when we activate and open the heart through that energy of love, we become open to this unified field of consciousness. And basically we can travel along that line of love and actually connect in with whatever we want to connect with. We connect with it by communing with it, not by observing it as an outsider, but by actually kind of resonating with it, coming into synchrony with it. That's how, as an energetic being, we are able to know things with our larger body, the body that extends beyond the physical. So this is what has been studied by the HeartMath Institute. So in this particular paper that I bought was a study where they measured this, where they tested this. And I want to tell you about this today because this is really interesting. So specifically what they did in these studies is they